Hi and Assalamualaikum. Today I'm going to present to you about the growth curve in plants. And before that, I am Nurhidayah Akilaf, University and FORM5. Now let's start about the content. First, I'm going to explain to you about the types of plant. Then I will show some example of different types of plant. Next, I will classify it based on the growth curve. And I will explain the growth curve based on the life cycle of the plants. And last but not least, I will conclude the pros and cons for each types of plant. As we know, there are three types of plant based on the life cycle. First is the annual, and second is the biennial, third is perennial. I'm going to explain to you first about the annual plants. Annual plants are plants that have only life cycle for a season or a year. These plants usually die after completing their biological cycle, which starts from germination and ends with flowering or producing seed. For example, like paddy, pumpkin, and also watermelon plants. Next is the biennial plants. It refers to plants which take 2 years with 2 seasons of growth. The first growth is the vegetative growth, and the second is the reproduction. Most of them grows in temperative regions. After going through the first growth season, this plant will briefly stop the growth process, and it will continue during the spring and summer as preparation for reproduction. And they will produce fruit and seeds, and eventually the plants will die, like cabbage, carrot, and silver cockscomb. Lastly is the perennial plant. They are plants which live more than 2 years. They have longer lifespan depending on the species and the conditions. They can be classified into two, which are woody and herbaceous. Most of these plants are able to flower and bear fruit many times throughout their life. They have structures that are adaptable to the surrounding, like grass, hibiscus plant, and also mango plant. Now I will show to you about the growth curve based on type of plant. First is the growth curve of annual plant. The growth curve is a sigmoid curve for annual plant. If you forget, sigmoid curve is an S-shaped curve. It is used to describe the growth process of plant. The first stage is the decreasing dry mass. Food stored in the cotyledon is used for germination before the leaves emerge to carry out photosynthesis, and the second one is increasing dry mass. The rate of growth increases rapidly because the plant has carried out photosynthesis. And the third one is constant dry mass, because the rate of growth is zero and plant is already matured. And the last one is decreasing dry mass. It happens slowly because of aging, lower rate of photosynthesis, shedding of leaf of flower, and speed dispersal. The second one is the growth curve of biennial plant. It has two sigmoid curves which are combined. For the first growth season, they produce leaf, and food is stored in tubers. And for the second one, is the food stored is used to produce flowers and seed for reproduction. And the last one is the perennial plants. The growth curve of perennial plant is a series of small sigmoid curves. It is because every year the growth curve is a sigmoid curve. Growth occurs throughout the lifespan of the plant. The rate of growth is high during spring and summer because of the high light intensity, and it decreases in winter. There are also pros and cons for each type of plant. For annual, they grow quick and bloom longer, so they are efficient plants. They germinate and grow so quick. They often stay in flower all season long, but they need a lot of work and care to do in one season. For biennial, the low growth habit during the initial phase allows the plant to survive frequent mowing or grazing. So there's a little competition from winter and spring grasses. And they also produce a large amount of seeds. So they can also be grown from cutting in some cases. They also can be continually changed and renewed to keep a garden more visually interesting. But the cons for the biennial is they take a bit more time to get established. And lastly, perennial provides so many advantages for the soil. They provide ground cover, preserve soil moisture. Even as they die in the colder months, these plants usually keep their foliage covering the soil and protecting it from the sun. They are easy to propagate by dividing and replanting to produce new plants. They also maintain the soil structure, provide soil stability, and enhance soil health. They can tap available soil nutrients, enhance biodiversity, make more water available to plants. They can also access water and nutrients that are beyond the range, making them far better adapted to extreme conditions. They also just need small quantities of nutrients to grow. But the con is they take the longest time among all the types of plants. So, thank you.